This isn't just an amazing 3D printed project, it's a perfect example of how you can take a 3D printing hobby and turning it into a business. So Cube Squadron reached out to me and sent me the files for this docking bay display cube to test print ahead of their upcoming Kickstarter. It's designed specifically for the Micro Galaxy Squadron line of Star Wars ships. I collect them. I'm a big fan. I have every single ship since day one, and so are they. They collect them too. But there was a glaring problem in displaying these ships. You know, it's something that I've been complaining about since day one, and I'm sure these guys with coming up with this model saw it too. They saw a problem, designed a solution for it, and created a business around it. With this video is not only I'm going to showcase this model, which is an amazing model, but I wanted to kind of like showcase the concept and the story around this model too. It's a perfect example of seeing a real world problem around you in your own environment and turning it into a monetizable business. I mean, an actual business around 3D printing. So let's get into it, guys. So let's talk about the need. Let's talk about why this project exists and why, if you're looking to create a business around 3D printing, this is exactly how you look around your own personal environment and create a solution around it. But specifically, I'm going to use this, and you can plug in any kind of concept that you guys want or see a need around it. But these ships by themselves are fantastic. Okay, I'm not going to take anything away from the little toys themselves, but displaying them is an absolute it's ugly. They sit flat on the shelf. There is no presentation other than just a basic array of Star Wars ships. They don't come with stands, so you can't elevate them. They don't come with any kind of things that you can put them in flight mode or whatever. It's just kind of a boring environment. So with this, I think this is a perfect example of taking the stand concept and exploding it into an amazing environmental piece around these specific ships. And they all and I think what getting into the mindset of the Cube Squadron engineers and behind it, everybody who's behind it and everything, I think what they wanted to do is let's bring Star Wars into the ships rather than the ships in the Star Wars, if that makes sense. This is something that's going to showcase the ships itself, a specific ship, and create a cube and a frame around it and really showcase the purpose of that ship for that specific movie or whatever. So I like that idea. It serves two purposes. I like the fact that the ships don't come with stands, so this acts as a stand, and now also enhances the area around it, your display, and everything. And of course, they didn't just stop there. They didn't just stop at the solution. They created not just the solution, but the concept of stackable, wall-mountable, everything you can possibly imagine with this amazing system. It's just the ground floor. So yeah, that is what the problem was and the solution. Cube Squadron designed everything for FDM printing, either at a 0.16 layer height or a 0.2 layer height. It was the level of detail. You would think that people would look at this and go, those parts would have been better in resin. No, the FDM handles it really well. The level of detail is insane. From textures to the smallest parts that from the scatter terrain and everything that plugs into the walls when you see the final assembly. I couldn't stop staring at the parts when they were coming off the printer and laid out before me, just as much as the final build itself. I was thoroughly impressed with it. The orientation was laid out perfectly. I didn't need to change anything. All I did, honestly, was slow down my printers enough, and that's just a default setting for myself. I recommend just slow and steady, gets better results. But otherwise, the printing was flawless in this whole thing. I had zero problems with it. As I got into the assembly, now I waited till I printed the whole thing to get to start the assembly, and again, I like to lay out all the parts and see the project before me, and kind of get an idea around what is happening. I study the PDF that they're provided. Work in progress. So any kind of shots that I'm showing you guys on this PDF, it's a work in progress. This is just a guide for me to, again, test print and give them notes, but everything is going to be pretty much detailed for you. As is, I followed what the PDF was, and I had zero problems understanding what was going on. So again, they're right there. They're right there for the final product. But so laying out all the pieces, they're all color coded and everything, and I started just putting together, and this was I was so excited to get this going. No glue, no supports. Everything snaps in place, or the tolerances are just good enough for the most part for a lot of these pieces to fit right in, that you can take back out. Okay, I know that was an important study on their behalf, as far as like getting tolerances right, so you can replace parts if they break on transport, on printing, or whatever it is. So I was very, very, very pleased by the ease of putting this together and not having anything break on me, not having any problems. There was a few, as far as like the small details that go inside walls, there was a few parts where, I really had to squeeze them in, but if I really wanted to, I can just take a file or some sandpaper, glide it right in. But the overall, the big parts, the structure, the floor, the cube itself, fit and snapped in. And it was a couple. I tested it, taking it apart too, because I wanted, this is a test, right? So I wanted to be able to put it together and then pull it apart and see if it broke, see if anything broke or snapped or worn, or if a piece was stress fractured. And no, it was actually fit very well when it was together. There was no loose. It didn't feel wobbly, didn't feel loose. And then as I took it apart, I can, for like, maybe you want to take it apart for access to lights or whatever, or replacing a part, I think it worked very well. So the tolerances are right there, and I'm confident that the finished product, I can take it apart if I needed to at any point. Again, maybe not all those little small intricate details that are embedded in the walls, but the overall structure of this thing, I could take it apart, put it together, and it's still stable. It's still structurally stable. One thing I'll note too is the seam lines on the two parts putting together, and I want to bring this to attention, because as somebody who designs things and wants to design things that they don't look 3D printed, minus the print lines and all that stuff, but as far as like two pieces and you have this part A, part B seam, I found it very, very, very refreshing that they tried their hardest to hide seam lines, especially in the sky in the middle, where they put a cloud, one of the Tatooine suns, another cloud in the background. That seam line disappears completely. I was like, I see what you did there, and I like it. And again, if you look on the top of it, you can see the seam line, but so what? That it's gonna be there. But for the most part, when this thing is all together, it looks all like one big piece, besides the cube itself. But I just wanted to kind of like put that out there as the attention to detail is there. This is not something that somebody just modeled and let it go. It was like they saw it because I know I would see it. So yeah, great job. As this whole thing is put together, I was like, I took a step back and was like, now my ship, my collection, my little Micro Galaxy Millennium Falcon, um, it feels at home. It feels right. The scale is there. I think it and okay, they could have easily just made the Falcon just sit on the platform and call it a day. But the fact that they paid attention to a stand that fits into the existing model that snaps into the cube, and you have this dynamic pose of the Falcon taking off. It's not a one-to-one scene replica, and it shouldn't be. This is a showcase around this particular line, and it at the end it absolutely nailed it. It enhances this ship, and um, it's like okay, cool. Job done. It's done. This there's no other solutions that I can think of with this line of ships that this won't do, especially when they're all put together and all kind of like, in its environments and everything. So the reveal was so satisfying that this ship is now not just sitting on a flat shelf. It's actually in its proper environment. So yeah, awesome. I'm an advocate. I like it. I'm sorry. I like it. I'm going to be very positive of this because this is a well-needed model for these ships. Again, I'm excited for this. So yeah, well done. So link in description below for the Kickstarter. Please go check it out, even if it's to sign up for the newsletter that they have so you can get ongoing updates and when it launches. And if you're interested in the project, which I hope you guys are, even if it's just something that you're not into the whole line, but want one of them as a showcase centerpiece for your game room, hobby room, whatever it is, I think you need to explore this fully. The cube that I printed is one of 7 in this Kickstarter project. And it's all centered around A New Hope, okay? So there are going to be some scene-specific cubes and some universal cubes in this 7 cube offering. For the most part, you're going to get a Star Wars A New Hope scene. That's going to be, some of them are going to be scalable, some of them are going to be set in stone, just like the docking bay is. And then there are going to be the universal hyperspace cubes, where they're trying to accommodate more ships, not just from that specific movie, but an overall Star Wars, line that this line runs the gambit on. That being said, they're very aware of somebody that wants a specific ship that's into this line that has it and wants to just showcase that one. So they're trying their hardest to accommodate a stand that fits them all, because again, one of the major problems is the line does not accommodate stands at all. They're just, here's the ship, and you just kind of put them on, a display, whatever you want. So what Cube Squadron is trying to look at every, most ships going forward. So they're going to try their hardest on that. Stackable. Stack them in any combination you want. You can print as many as you want. You can buy as many as you want and put them in make a whole wall out of it. A whole shelf, 1, 10, 15, whatever. Wall-mountable, which is fantastic. And I know that they're trying to hide all kind of cables and cords and battery packs and everything. So it's just a great piece of furniture that's going to go and showcase your collection. So this is all work in progress. I want to give you guys that note. Everything that I showed you here on this specific cube, and I'm sure their Kickstarter is not final, but I'm sure it's very, very close to the final product. I just want to put that disclaimer out there. I also want to put the disclaimer out there that they did reach out to me to test print these files. So everything is my opinion and my experience on this, and they asked for it, and hopefully it's feedback to make a better final reveal. So again, guys, get in there early, sign up for the newsletter, explore the Kickstarter, even in the Instagram. Oh my God, the Instagram goes nuts on the photos and the promos of these things. If that doesn't sell you, I don't know what will. But get involved early. It's coming soon. I know that, very, very soon. So this is going to be something to look forward to expand. Awesome. Love it. Click the link. So guys, wrapping this up. What an amazing project. I love detailed printing projects. So this was right up my wheelhouse, right up my alley for this channel, to showcase some amazing prints that take some time, some effort, some amazing engineering that goes behind it. And also showcasing the aspects of your 3D printing hobby into a business. This is how you identify, and this is how you create a successful business. Okay, instead of just pulling things off the internet with a license, permission, or whatever, and selling them as a little, at a flea market, at a convention, or whatever it is. This is how you sustain a business. This is how you create something, is by looking around you in your environment and finding that problem and coming up with that solution. It's not going to take overnight. It's not going to be overnight, but something that you worked on in your own environment to enhance or invent or whatever it is, utilizing 3D printing as your manufacturing, your oh God, your prototyping to the point where you can perfect it and make a business. I think that is what I absolutely gravitate to. And I stress anybody who wants to monetize a 3D printing business. Again, going from a hobby to an actual business. This is exactly the project that you should be looking towards in the future. You should be looking towards this model itself, meaning the business model. Okay. I gravitated towards, because that's exactly what I did with my Emporium, all my dioramas and action figure stands. This mirrors it perfectly. It wasn't that I seeked out a business, and I don't think Cube Squadron either was like, we're gonna make a business around it, until this became bigger than, wow, this is just not a solution for my own stuff. This is a solution that actually everybody could benefit from, and that it became a business. Again, that's how I did it. It wasn't something where I was like, I'm gonna make a action figure stand to make a business. It was something that worked, and I was like, wow, this works really, really well. Let's see if other people like it, and it just became it. And I just love that. I love that story. So not only is Cube Squadron a perfect, great, inspirational model for the line that desperately needed it, it's a great inspirational story itself. Just how it became, something out of a necessity into an awesome Kickstarter that's going to just blow everybody away. Thank you guys for making it all the way to the end of this video. Thank you to Cube Squadron for reaching out, allowing me to test print this cube. I look forward to doing more, and I look forward to the launch of this Kickstarter. So if you haven't so, like and subscribe. Leave a comment in the section below to see what else is out there that I can test and print and bring to this channel. This project was an amazing addition. I loved showcasing the whole thing. Be safe, everyone. I will see you on the next one.